Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to your Taroscopes for the new moon in Pisces on the 13th of March, tomorrow as I'm filming, so hopefully I'll get them all out on time. As ever, this is a little introduction about the new moon and what I've got to say about it, which is not a lot this time. And then there's a timestamp in the description below to fast forward to your reading. The reason I do this is because I advise you to watch three of them: your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. And if you don't know what your moon and rising signs are, there is a link in the description down below just so you can get yourself a free birth chart. There's plenty of sources, websites online that you can get that from. Now, as ever, I would like you to ask a question prior to the reading. So have a think about, while we discuss the moon, or pause the video if you need to, have a think about all the questions that are floating around you at the moment and focus on one of them. I mean, definitely pause before the reading, just to spend that moment of focus. And be aware of all of them, though, because the cards will answer what they please, and not necessarily what you or I think are the highest priority issues. But yeah, this is a new moon at 23 degrees Pisces. It's the last of, I think, 6 new moons at 23 degrees of whatever sign they're supposed to be in that month. Supposed to be, that sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. The first thing that jumped out on me here is, well, the new moon is moon conjunct sun, as we all know. And this new moon at 23 degrees Pisces is smack bang on Albert Einstein's sun. So not a new moon in his case, but I really just like that image of, if you think about part of his identity that we all know, is his ability to think things through, to reason, to ask questions. And this is what I think this new moon is about. Watching a lot of the astrologers' videos, which I have yet to actually post on my Facebook page, link down below, I'll talk about that in a minute. But a lot of them are saying this new moon is not so much a time about setting intentions this time. That's for the day after, couple of days after, 3 days after of the new moon. It's more a case of planning to set the intentions, working out what you need to have in place for you to make your mind up about how you're going to proceed further. So another way of saying that is a way to clear space for setting the intentions. So clear space indicates all the old tropes of letting go and, to a great extent, forgiveness. So if there's anything you need to work on forgiving, now's an ideal time to do it. I probably have a few things on my own list. Now, this is emphasized even more by the degree angel. At 23 degrees Pisces, this degree is ruled by the angel Manakel, who represents accountability and the knowledge of good and evil. So with that knowledge of good and evil, there's that is good for me, that is not good for me, that is just downright evil, that's just not good for me. Both of those two things we can get rid of now, hopefully. Also, Manakel is ruling Mars this time. So it's 2 planets Manakel's ruling. Mars is quintile the moon, which, if I remember correctly, bear in mind I'm not an astrologer, but indicates a creative force between the two of them. So our emotions and our urge to jump forward and do whatever are linked creatively, almost mystically. Now, Saturn, you may recall in my full moon reading that I did 2 weeks ago, Saturn was sat there listening to the moon while the angels were running around, sort of an angelic court, going, "What about this? What about this? What about this?" And Saturn's going, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't understand." Saturn this time's not even talking to the moon. No aspects between the moon and Saturn whatsoever. There is one between Mars and Saturn. Let me look it up. I forget off the top of my head what it is. Yes, there's a harmony between Mars and Saturn this time. So, as in a trine aspect. So hopefully that Manikel's discernment, understanding, the thinking as shown by Albert Einstein's son, will get transferred into some form of action that Saturn can approve of, because Saturn still remains the ruler of the chart. On that note, you know how I like my looking up astrology of the first appearances of comics characters. This is also on Lex Luthor's Lilith and Lex Luthor's Mercury. So while we're in this era of Neptune in Pisces, which again just conjuncted with Venus, but more on that in a second, or is coming up to the conjunction. I think it's coming up to the conjunction. I meant to check it before I started filming. Yeah, we've just had Sun conjunct Neptune, and we're going to Venus conjunct Neptune. Really, same day. So, near as damn it. But the Lex Luthor, Lilith and Mercury, we've got, with Lex Luthor, we've got that symbol of thinking, working things out. Okay, he had a few agendas that maybe you and I might not agree with, but he was very good at communicating things and swaying public opinion. Positive and negative there. Because Neptune in Pisces, obviously, delusion, illusion, imagination run riot, obsession. And yeah, I wouldn't trust anything Lex Luthor says one way or another. So there may be more public narratives that we would need to question, but there's also that sense of people using their own discernment and making space for the new, and being aware of all the factors that are popping their head up, saying, before you make your plans, what about this? What about that? Don't forget about me. Don't forget about this thing over here. Now, also in Quintile, we have Mercury and Uranus, ruled by Rahel, who is known as Diamond in the Rough, and is also attributed to filial submission, the submission of children to their parents, for example, but also a dispenser of longevity. So Mercury in itself, in its post-shadow phase, we've had loads of things brought up to us yet again that we can now let go of. That's the idea of the post-shadow phase. The diamond in the rough makes me think of vague plans. Vague plans that you're going in that general direction, but you don't have to firm up the details yet. You don't have to cut that diamond just yet. It's beautiful as it is. As for the filial submission, yeah, I don't know. It's there. I thought I would mention it. I've no idea how that one is going to. That could be on a very personal level for people, or it could reflect the drama going on with the royal family. There's definitely generational issues occurring with this new moon that helps us determine the way forward, hopefully in a positive way. I'm feeling pretty positive about this. I mean, people will say it's Pisces being the 12th sign is very similar, but not the same. I must stress it's not the same as the 12th house. So in terms of isolation, I don't want to say isolation. I want to inward looking study, really examining that which is within us. But we've got quite a stellium here in Pisces because, what is it, Sun, Moon, Venus, Neptune. So that's a lot of power. Obviously with the Venus-Neptune conjunction, appreciation of beauty, mysticism, maybe beautiful illusions, and you will see various astrologers talk about the the beautiful love and relationship aspect. Can also be relationship to things that we value. Um, but this new moon is wonderful for, like I say, preparing to set your intentions. Let old things go, focus on what you love, and work out how what it is you love is going to carry you forward, what passion you want to follow. I said I'd talk about the Facebook thing. Link down below. Like I said, I share normally. I haven't this last week, but I think you'll understand that with you've seen the intro bit already. I normally post the videos of all the astrologers that I follow and whatever else that I find on YouTube that is in this vein of beautiful woo-woo. But it's also got a personal inbox. So if you want a personal reading from me, obviously watch the reading first so you can judge whether you want this or not. But if you want a personal reading, that's a way to get in touch with me. You are more than welcome to comment down below. I try to respond to all of my comments. Not always on time, but I don't hover over the computer. But I always like to try and respond. And it's interesting to know what you think. It's interesting to know that it's reassuring to know that the readings that I am doing are hitting home somewhere. Because in taroscopes, there's 3 layers to them, I think. There's obviously me doing the reading for a zodiac energy. Then there's you, the viewer, finding the readers that you... Oh, I've forgotten the word. I was going to say synchronize with, but that's... Nope, can't remember the right word. But the ones that you vibe with, the ones that you resonate, that's it. The ones that you resonate with. And then you have to apply the reading to your own circumstances if it sounds relevant. Absolutely and totally and utterly discard it if it does not sound relevant, because this is not a sort of form of mundane tarot reading. The reading either is for you and you'll be able to hear that, or it's not. Go and watch your rising sign, go and watch your moon sign. I mean, new moons, full moons, go and watch your moon sign always. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, because it really does help. I'm still aiming for that magic 1000 yet, so anything you can do to assist with that will be greatly appreciated. And like I say, before I bring up the cards, just remember that one thing: ask a question first. And I think that's everything that I've got to say. I actually thought I had nothing to say about this new moon, and I've not said a lot, but I think that in and of itself is significant, that it's this space. Pisces can be about rebirth, so it is this space, like the creative void before the word, that we are able to set the directions of our own rebirth. Or at least, being a tarot reading, because I'm always talking about new beginnings, because that's what the cards do, this month's rebirth. So, I hope you're all well, and I will bring up your cards. Cheers. Okay, Leo, looking at these cards, the first thing I want to say is, you asked for this. This is something that you set into motion a while back. Now let me dive into this a bit deeper and explain what I mean. We have, for the oracle cards, have faith in your dreams. Then we have, from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, the power card. And then finally, Nyx, Enchantress of Night. Now, Nyx sees everything and hides everything. And sometimes something that appears malicious can be in your favour, and that will be Nyx working on your behalf, even though it appears malicious, because you feel like you've been fighting the same fight over and over and over again. But I say again, is this not where you wanted to be, and in your own striving for coming into your own power, coming into your own skill, coming into your own authority, whichever way you want to look at it, because a magician has authority over the elements. That's what you set your heart on. That's what you've set out for. Come what may. And currently you have the potential to be getting to a better place, but you are in this conflict. Now, it looks like this conflict will not necessarily end, but I do feel that by being in this conflict, you are in that better place. And you are getting to that better place. It's almost as if this is an argument that you, or a confrontation or what have you, that a year ago, 3 years ago, whenever, you wouldn't have been able to have. You'd have just gone, yeah, okay. Because you didn't have the facts or the strength or the expertise or whatever it is that you needed to win this argument, win this conflict. Now, that's no longer true. Because you have been, Eight of Pentacles here, you have been working hard towards coming into that sense of power. And I do believe that there is someone around who is helping you. Even if the only way that they are helping you, this is ironic, is by cutting you off and kicking you out. That's one way of reading these cards. We have the Chariot card, movement, clarified by death, ending, transformation, the end of an era. So one way of reading that is that someone's cutting you off and kicking you out. Another way of reading that is someone saying, come with me, this lot will end. But it won't entirely end, because you will be meeting up with others against whom you will need to be defensive, and you may need to cut those others out. Queen of Swords here, clarified by the Seven of Wands. But I do not forget that I often see the Seven of Wands as a meeting with your peers. Not so much on this one, because it's the back of the Are You Wait card, so he stood on a hill defending himself. But you are not picking the hill you're going to die on. That's one thing that's certain, because here at the bottom is, if you are making the choice to, what I feel with the Lovers card, if you are making the choice to stay true to that initial coming into your own power, coming into your own authority urge that you had, you will see the value in what it is that you do want to keep doing and what it is you don't want to keep doing. But you have new beginning energies around you, Knave of Pentacles, but I feel that they're ones that you need to grab. And I feel that they're ones that you will be shown to grab by bad things happening. It's cheerful, isn't it? But what I mean is, the Wheel of Fortune here is an obstacle to you. So it's like bits of bad luck. A job you apply for you don't get, for example. But because you applied for that job and was then refused, you later become aware of this other job that is right for you. That's one example. But I do think that you also feel that you haven't necessarily been listened to, and there's not enough, I hope this means something to you, not enough assistance from far away. Now, considering that I was saying Six of Swords in the centre, Death and Chariot for other people, if someone is then saying, come to this far away, wherever far away is, do it. Absolutely do it, because you're still going to be fighting that same fight, Seven of Wands here, but you've cut out a lot of it by moving, going to a better place. And I rather think that it is in your interest to take up that offer of going to that better place, going to that far away, wherever that far away is. But it's something that you've got to commit to. You've got to see the value in it. And but you've also got to see the value in what it is that you have accomplished already and why you have been fighting this fight over and over and over again. Because you can win this, but winning isn't I'm right, you're wrong. Winning is achieving peace. And you are concerned that all your efforts regarding this will come to naught. Well, that's not true. They're going to be fine. That's what I rather feel, because you because the final outcome card is failure. No, that's a seven of discs. That's because it's clarified with wish fulfillment, 9 of cups. So the way I'm reading this is you've got the 2 sevens here at the end. So 7-7, you're on the right path. I think that's what that means. And leading you towards a form of wish fulfillment where you will be able to enjoy the rewards of what you have achieved. And even though, right, even though in terms of the argument you may not have necessarily have achieved victory, you will have achieved a personal victory for getting, I don't know, as far as you did. But the 7 of discs is very much a card about harvest and what you've put in you will get out. Do you know what I mean? It's either you plough and weed the fields or you don't. If you plough and plant and weed the fields, you will get a crop. If you don't, you won't. So you have to make the decision now of whether to carry on with this fight that you've been working towards and you have been getting better and better and better at it, or not. And you're feeling like there's a lot against you and there's a temptation. There's a temptation for, to go, stuff it. But no, I really think stick to your guns. I'm going to read what the power card is about. Step into your true power. Shine brightly, do not hide who and what you are. The time is right to attract big things for yourself. Ancestral energy is important. Open your mind to larger possibilities. Big magic can be wrought. And again, there's whatever, like I say, you may not win the battle that you're in, but the very fact that you are fighting this battle leads you to a personal victory, a personal harvest, a personal reward here. Now, what Spirit's bringing in is all the ways it could go wrong with the devil. But they're also bringing you in a foundation. Yes, you will be inclined to feel defensive, protective over this foundation, but it is a firm and solid foundation that allows you to express your own power. And so you have to be careful not to use that power to lash out. It's you use the power to defend what it is that you are building. And this is emphasized even more by, since it's a devil card, demon possessed tarot, 5 of swords, showing that conflict, Spirit's quite happy with that conflict being there. It's going to do you good, whatever that means. But on the 5 of swords, we have Sabnok, who is, it says here, builds high towers, castles and cities. But Sabnok is very much about defense, protection, magical defense, cursing your enemies and some such. But it's more defensive than offensive. So if you get this option of going to a far away or a better place, do it. Absolutely do it. Because you are actually going to get a lot more than what you expect. And you're certainly going to get a lot more than what it looks like, because at the minute it looks like a hollow victory or a wasted effort. But even if it does end up being defeat, you end up in a better place for it. So I think whatever this confrontation is, just dive in, have fun. Just do not surrender to your lower influences. Okay, so if that means anything to you, Leo, comment down below, like, share, subscribe, obviously, all that good stuff. And in the meantime, good luck with this. You did have a good reading, I think. Was it last month? It looks like maybe something started up again, or this is a whole new, I say a whole new battle, but this is something that has been going on for some time. It might be a different battle to what we were talking about last year, but it's still, it has history, this. But I honestly want to say that that history is going to end up being a good thing. All right, comment, share, comment, share, subscribe, like I said, and I will see you at the full moons. Cheers.